Well, today we're looking at some miniatures from a company called Studio Miniatures. I'll put the link down below. I saw these in a magazine, I think it was Fantasy Figure Painting magazine. There was an advert and I noticed the thing that attracted me was a Jason Voorhees figure. I'm a big Friday the 13th fan. So I went onto their site and had a look, and they had this little fella, but they also had quite a few others. They had Mad Max from Mad Max 2. Obviously, as a big Mad Max fan, do the Mad Max in Character podcast on NeoZaz. So that attracted me. And then there was also a Snake Plisskin, which looks pretty good. I put him on the street base. And so I bought that one. And then there was a Universal Frankenstein's Monster. I'm a big fan of the Universal Monsters. They did have a Creature from the Black Lagoon, which I really wanted, but it's out of stock. They come with just standard black sort of clicky bases, but I thought for Snake, he's meant to be in New York, so I put him on a... just dropped a tool. Put him on a base. So these were, I think they were, he was 4, I think, and these were 5 each. I think it's reasonable. They're pretty nice figures, to be honest. Good detail. So all I've done is undercoated them in Tamiya Surface Primer. So I've got a new airbrush, finally, an airbrush that works. So I've undercoated them in Surface Primer because it gives a nice base to work on. So what we're going to do is paint these today. I'm not going to show painting them all because it's the same sort of process for each of them. So I'm probably going to paint Max, I think, and then we'll come back at the end after I've painted and we can see all the others because I'll do them all at the same time. So the first job with the figures is flesh, the flesh time. So it's just Cadian flesh tone mixed with a little Vallejo light flesh, because that just thins it out and takes a bit of the tannage away. Is that a word? So all I'm doing is blocking in wherever there's flesh. The features on these are they're okay. They've got quite a bit of character, but they're quite soft, so there's not much sort of engraved detail. So it'll be interesting to see how these come out. So I'm going to paint all the fleshy parts, and then we can come back. Okay, so I've painted the flesh. Frankenstein's Monster, I added a touch of green to it. I didn't want it totally green. And we'll dry brush some flesh over it to balance it out. So the next step is to use some flesh wash, Rayclon Flesh Shade, and just run that in. Hello. She wants her dinner. So I'm just going to run the flesh wash into all the figures, let it dry, and then we can come back and have a look. Okay, so you can see the flesh wash has dried. It's gone well on Frankie because he's got a lot of detail. Oh, I forgot to flesh wash Jason, I have to do him as well. So what we're going to do now is use a slightly lightened version of the base coat and dry brush that over and nice and dry. And then all we're going to do is use that just to bring out the highlights. There you go, on the flesh, and on Frankie it'll give him a bit more of a pallid skin tone rather than the pure greenish that he had. Oh, that's nice. That hand is really well sculpted. And the next job will be doing the hair. So Max and Snake both got black hair, so I'm just going to use a baden. In fact, most of Max is black, or various shades of dirty grey. On Max as well, once we've done this, we need to add some bruising around his eye, and perhaps a little bit of red blood. And I will also paint his other eye in. I'm going to cover the hairs and then we'll come back and do some eyes. Okay, so the hair colours are done. While we're waiting them to dry, I'm going to paint in the eyeball. I'm going to use ceramite white. A very fine brush. And this is going to be fun because Max's eye is tiny. Dear tiny. So there we go. Oh, it's off camera, isn't it? Oh, there we go, that's not too bad. Snake's eye, obviously one of them's behind the eye patch, the other one's just a slit, and Frankie's are just slits, so I don't think we need to do eyes on them. Okay, so what I'm going to do now is start blocking in the clothing. So for Max, it's black leather pretty much all over, black gloves. He's got a sort of a tannish undershirt. So I'm going to start blocking in these, and then when we come back we can paint his eyeball. Okay, so I've decided to do Max from later on in the film, so when he's injured after he's written off the interceptor, because that's what his eye looks like. This side is definitely closed, whereas this side's open. But to do that, obviously he needs a bandage on his arm, so all I've done is use some very fine masking tape, Tamiya masking tape, wrapped it around it, painted it white, and then we can run some sort of wash into that to show it off. So what we're going to do now is paint his eyeball. Generally for figures this size I do blue because it just seems to look right. I know a lot of people don't like it because they say you should do it the actor's colour, but generally anything other than blue tends to look a bit weird. You can get away with green as well though. Oh, that's alright. And then also to sort of think of how to do is bruising. So I think what I might do is, I do have some red wash, so I'm just going to put a tiny bit of that into the eye. Line above the eye, the other bit I hate doing. Because this is where it's going to make it or break it. There we go. That's very good. So what I'm going to do is block in the clothes. Start doing that actually because I got the black open. To go through a lot of black when you're doing little figures of Mad Max. It's just a case of pretty much everything's various shades of grey, so we'll do that with dry brushing. I might try and use, I was going to say I might use a brown for his leather belts, but they are actually black. So what I'm going to do is block all of his clothes in, and then we can come back and start doing a bit of dry brushing. Okay, so Max is coming along, so I'm going to start dry brushing his hair first, and I'm going to use a bit of brown to start with. Okay, let's have a look. See how this goes. There'll be some more details to pick out, like his red rag on his sleeve, some silver buckles, the ratchet. He's alright, he's come out well. Right, so a little bit of silver for his monkey wrench. There we go. And a little bit of, actually I need to do his leg bars in silver as well, but I'm going to sort of dry brush them a bit. A bit of light brown for his knife handle, and just red for his bandana, and then basically just stick some sand to the base, and I think we'll be done on Max. Okay, we'll do the base, come back. Okay, so these are finished now, so let's go through them in order. So we've got Snake Plisskin. It's quite a nice likeness, good pose. I do like that one. Luxuriant hair. And then we've got the Frankenstein Monster. So we just put him on a gravel base. I like this one. It's a strange pose, but it works, and there's some good detail on the face. And then Jason Vorhees. Really like this one. It's the one that made me go and buy some of these. They do a Michael Myers as well and Hannibal Lecter, but I didn't think they were quite as good looking. My favourite one of the bunch is Max from Mad Max 2. It came out really well. Let me put it on, see if I can get it to focus closer. Put it on autofocus, but that sometimes goes a bit mad. Oh yeah, there we go. You see he's got a busted up eye. Lots of really good detail. Good figure, that one. I'll show you these ones a bit closer. Not a great facial likeness on that one, but good pose. And Frankie. Great face on Frankie. He's pointing down, going, look, down here, down here. And then Jason Voorhees. So easy to paint. He has no face, no eyeballs. Put a bit of blood on his machete. So yeah, so they were some great fun figures to make, and that's like literally a couple of hours this afternoon. Look at that autofocus. I hate the autofocus on cameras. There we go. So yeah, they were great fun to do, dirt cheap, and they'll go nicely on the shelf. I'll put the link to the site in the description down below. Let me know if there's any other figures, or if you know of any companies that do unusual movie figures. I always like a movie tie-in figure. Please like and subscribe if you want to see more of these videos. Every subscription helps. And thanks for watching. I'll see you again next time. Thanks then. Bye.